only the top 6 teams that will qualify to the Spring Split playoffs, which means that bottom 4 will be eliminated from the splits.
Oh yeah.
And with Heretics sitting at 2 and 3 and Vitality at 1 and 2, these teams will be competing against each other, vying for those spots.
And breaking away from the middle of the pack right now is so important. Of course, I meant Naak Nako, the seating position from Stend, welcoming us in on this Easter Sunday. Celebrations to all who do celebrate it. All right, Team Heretics Vitality, blue side for Heretics. Jace is the starting ban. Malachi, these are just usuals right now. And for Team Heretics, as they lose the Yone, it does just feel like first pick Rumble could be an option here.
Certainly could be.
But Carlsen hasn't played it yet. But again, we know teams are still looking at this. Well, Varus, let's be real.
Varus is very high.
Rumble actually banned by Team Heretics.
We have been seeing Kalista come out though. We saw yesterday an impressive performance from Upset and his Kalista, getting a nice swap early in order to avoid the matchup. There will be the Rumble ban coming through, which means that things like Skarner still going to be very high on the priority list. Not something that teams are as willing to first pick as they were previously. I was just thinking to myself, Neferi, both junglers have actually played a decent amount of it so far this split, but it's Flakked. He's going to go for the Varus.
Oh, yeah.
Should be no surprise. Carzzy. Sivir is something that he has played before, but he might just keep it safe and go for the Ezreal. You know, I was promised best of 3 Fearless that we'd get like, whoa, crazy innovations. We'd get like the development of the meta. No longer are we going to be trapped. I feel like I was lied to.
Yeah, it's the best of 5 Fearless. And then we get to the best of 5, and then eventually, then we introduce best of 7.
Right.
That's a genius move, isn't it? Fire gonna get locked into the VIT time. Pretty standard stuff.
Classic, just keep moving the goalposts.
Yeah, that's right. Until eventually we're having 10-hour League of Legends series. So this keeps getting hovered, especially by Razorg at the moment, but we've seen our fair few Z jungle in the East. Conditions to pull it up.
I love that you think that.
I mean,
it's Sejuani.
Yeah. Whoa, exciting. We didn't want to go too far.
Taliyah, maybe? Yeah, I had a feeling. So, will it be a Victor response from Czajek, perhaps? Maybe he wants to go for the Ahri instead. Oh, bit of a switch up.
Simmer down.
Away from the Taliyah.
Oh.
We're being teased.
And watch it come back to Taliyah.
Yep.
Now, Ahri is a response. Don't want to get you guys too excited.
Could be. Hey, I'm down for a Hwei as well. That could be fine.
Just
a bit of a range advantage as well. Can synergize nicely with the Vi, potentially.
Betty cooking a little bit. Or the Azir.
Have you got the stat? It's Nymeria that always has the stat. He's keeping up to date with the Taliyah versus Azir worldwide.
He does like Taliyah versus Azir.
There we go.
Wow. That doesn't look too good. That's 2 out of 9 wins in total.
Ahri's not having the best of time. Still think she's a solid champion though.
Yep.
Either way, moving into the second ban phase, right now we're kind of even with each other in terms of picks, which means that kind of pick the ladder. You can look to target supports if you want. Poppy, I think, is a great choice. Heretics may want to try and limit the top lane pool, given that they will have to blind pick their top sides. They could look to remove things like a potential Jax if they're concerned about it. Maybe they want to get rid of Gwen. Even though she has been nerfed, she can still be a massive threat on the top side. Plenty of potential options.
Anything melee, right? With Sejuani is easy pair.
Carlsen could be thinking about a blind Ambessa, for example.
He pull his Kamiloo out again. I mean, depends how it works. But
it depends how. Like, if they have a clear idea of what they want to play top, then they could look to ban. They could look to pinch that pool a little bit more. Maybe they want to keep things open by just targeting supports for now, limiting the engage, forcing Vitality to have to pick their support early. Rel and Alistar are initially looking like the go-to supports as of right now. So Vitality taking their time to think about what they want to go for. Are they going to try and remove one of these engaged supports? Maybe a Braum as well. Renata, similar vein. So Vitality definitely thinking about an engage. And they could just blind pick the Alistar now, force Heretics, saying like, if you want to pick the Rel, you can't. But if you then blind pick Alistar, you leave yourself open to things like Karma, potentially. And Varus Karma is it's a nasty lane, bro. It's a
yeah. No, you can agree with that, can't you? I feel like maybe some of the picks is Renekton gets banned away.
Ambessa is what they're probably thinking.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Team Heretics want it. Do Vitality just snatch it away since like one of the biggest counter picks for the lane, considering no one plays Volibear? Can just be snagged up here. It's so good with Vi as well. I think EU really honed into it in winter.
Blind Alistar, please punish this Heretics.
Surely.
I think champs like Karma can be so good into this. I think Senna's also fine. There's the Ambessa that we were talking about. But I think blind Alistar picks need to be punished. I don't just want to see Heretics pick Rel. I think they have more than enough ways to start a fight. But I think Vitality, with the amount of dive that they have, they're going to be the ones engaging onto you anyway. I'd love to see something like a Kana. I also think Senna can work. I think Lux is a bit ambitious.
Do you care about, like, I know Brom is not the direction you're looking for, but
Brom's
if we're talking
fine.
disengage.
Yeah. Brom is fine as well.
Especially if they're running into you. It's a good point. Rakan does help start the fight. Vedius is a little bit disappointed, obviously. Because, yeah, you're right. The 2v2, the lane bullying would be huge. Especially for that early grub rotation that we see at 4.5 minutes.
I forget who I was watching. I want to say it was AL I was watching play. They picked Elise into the Alistar blind, which I don't love Elise, but in that matchup, I thought it was great.
Like
just
hit the lane,
the idea is just bully, dive, threat.
Okay.
So, they're playing for the team. The Rakan going to round things out, provide the team with a little bit more engage. A lot of front to back on the side of Heretics. A lot of decent skirmishing power as well. You can see with Ambessa and Taliyah, a lot of just great utility and damage that they synergize nicely with the Sejuani. But ultimately, a solid composition from Heretics. Pretty well-rounded. They have side lane threats. They have teamfight options. Vitality is a little bit more pick-orientated. They have a lot of single-target damage with the Via lockdown, the Ahri as well. The goal being that they either catch Varus out or they have ways that they can lock this individual down. I think Vitality's composition is a little bit harder to execute, especially if they can't get ahead in the early game.
True.
Heretics is a little bit more well-rounded, which sets them up nicely for the mid to late game. But at the end of the day, both compositions have very clear win conditions. I think in terms of the laning phase, bot lane might struggle for Vitality, so they're going to concede push there. I think Heretics should, in theory, with Taliyah into Ahri, also have early push in mids. I'm not entirely sure who gets early advantage in the top side matchup. I would imagine that the Jax does, just if you take...
And Ambessa cooldowns early is so rough.
Quite long.
Until she gets an item, until she gets that Eclipse, like... I feel like Ambessa doesn't really function as much as a champion.
But if... the way things go that I kind of expect, Sheo can start on his top side path towards bot. He has 2 pushing lanes that in theory he can play around, which means the Heretics should also have early game options to start trying to get ahead.
Well, we'll see if we can hold on to that one. If we go long enough, he's going to have to bring it up. That is a goated poster behind us. Oh, look, Betty, there you are in the middle. Happy Easter. It was also yesterday. It must be the Easter happy weekend for you all at home as well. Team Heretics Vitality. It should burn part of your house down. A lot of you be asking why.
Sorry,
what? Yeah, why do I care? Because when the party's on fire, sometimes a bit of damage done. You know, drinks thrown everywhere, fires started. Vitality Heretics have that potential. Because as we said, Heretics have become really fun to watch. Heretics have been this team that have developed through their solo lanes. Feel like Stend has really stepped up to the plate as well. Sheo is the glue that keeps it all together.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this nice little mismatch of a team that is really starting to show individual flares, and I think skill that is worth of a top 16.
And in contrast, Vitality, they've only played 3 games so far this split. I mean, 3 series, I should say. This is their 4th. And the last time we cast them was in that series against Fnatic, and we were quite optimistic about them in their first game.
We were.
Because they got early game leads against Fnatic, they were starting to build advantages, and then they forced a play, and the whole game fell apart, and then they got stopped in the second game as well. And their schedule upcoming, it's only going to get harder with playing only teams on the top side of the bracket.
It's a hard schedule. That schedule is cooked. Like, Vitality going to have to bring something out of the bag. That's why today as well is so important for them. And as Vedi said, 3 series only. Heretics, 5 on their plate so far. So,
but what I want to say is that, like, we're still trying to gauge where Vitality is, because I think that given the sample size that we have, it's easy to point out the things that they've done wrong, the things that they've done right, and we're just trying to get a clearer picture of what they bring to the table. And I think in this matchup against Heretics, we should get that clearer vision. One thing we can say for certain is that the laning phase of Carzzy and Nisqy has proven to be quite lethal. They're a bot lane that is willing to fight. They even got that 2v2 kill against Fnatic's bot lane. And so they're a bot lane you have to be very careful of, especially given once they get that level 2, they're not the type of bot lane to waste any time with looking for plays.
Well, in this game, let's see if it holds the same regard, because Vedi, you already talked about Flakked and Stend in the 2v2. It's going to be pretty impactful there, as we expect. Sejuani on the other side of the map, by the way. Sheo has just started the invade with a vertical line. Straight up to Krugs, and he will be level 3 to see if he can just Arctic Assault and find something with the melee top lane.
He's just taken the entire top side of...
Was it entire?
Lyncas's camps. You can see, 12 camps. He's taken 3. He took them all.
True.
Lyncas was caught completely unawares. Now he needs to adjust his game plan. Right now, Carzzy and Nisqy hold the bot wave in about a neutral position. So how's Lyncas going to adjust his approach? Sheo abandoning his topside camps, making his way towards the bot side. This vision investment from Heretics was fantastic. They get the good vision on the topside jungle to see when Lyncas enters. They've spotted Lyncas as he makes his way into the bot side jungle. Lyncas is trying to gather information as to where Sheo could be. And right now, he's got no idea.
So much time being wasted. Lyncas also again spotted on that same ward, crossing to mid. They're thinking Raptors, or he's hiding in Fog of War. Respect given by Kamiloo, but he can just walk over here. The wave not hard push yet. A jungle 1v1 begins, and Permafrost is going to be easy. It's going to find some damage from Sheo. Aftershock helps with that. Lyncas didn't actually get the camp. He's still on 12. I think
he got a little one, but yeah, like
that's it, right?
That's it. Right now, Sheo's early pathing is getting a huge advantage against Lyncas. He's going to be able to get the crab. A ward was invested by Naak Nako onto the top side, so they will be able to spot out this Sejuani as he makes his way towards the blue buff. But wow, Lyncas kind of left with nothing to do on the map right now. He's just hovering around mid lane. It feels so awkward for him. And that ward's still not going to spot out the jungler. They don't actually have enough information as to what Sheo is up to. Now he's going to finally be spotted out.
But it's just gone. I mean, Sheo, 2, 3, 4 camps in total. Topside respawn, time is not there. Ward going to see Sheo at least on blue, so information
is he now going to contest the Raptor respawn? So you can see them back out onto the map. With both mid laners recalling, that this does seem unlikely to me. I think he'll just have to give this one up. But still, nice advantage gain for Sheo in the early game. You'll see he's about to tick over to level 4. A full level over Lyncas. He's what, 3 camps, I think? 2.5, 3 camps ahead of his jungle opponent. I mean, great start, and it's going to slow the ability for Lyncas to find any advantages in his early playmaking.
I mean, while we check quickly back in while junglers are having a fray, Naak Nako is actually doing pretty well, or rather, Carlsen's doing pretty well in the matchup. Just underestimating the power of grasp in melee versus melee when Ambessa's involved. Wave pushed up. Wave's pretty even so far. And Carlsen also holding onto a ward here, so might just go and drop some vision himself. And that's going to spot out that Lyncas now recalling.
Sheo going to make his way back towards the bot side of the map. Flakked and Stend playing very conservatively here in the bot lane, 2 versus 2, not trying to force any too many trades, as they say that Stend goes in. But they've got the wave in a great spot right now. Not a huge amount of vision on the bot side of the map. Nisqy and Carzzy have to be cautious of a potential jungle gank.
A gung.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a jungle gank. You get gunked.
But both objectives still on the board. Are we going to get a swap coming through from Heretics soon? We've seen many times bot lane swap towards that top side of the map in order to play for those early grubs. It looks like that's not going to be the game plan for now, as it's Vitality's bot lane with the early recall. Well, first recall, I should say.
Carlsen's making his back. Carzzy might just sprint at top now. Naak Nako doing the same, but they're opting to go bot again. So we just have to see. Stend is already on the move for these grubs, and you can see that Flakked is walking top lane. So I guess for Carzzy and Nisqy, their option is just to walk mid and see what they can do with their response. Stend at least feigning that he's going bot towards Dragon. Maybe that's followed by Carzzy's bot, or Carzzy and the rest of Vitality as well.
Sheo is a player that does love his dragons historically. I don't know if that's entirely true for Heretics this split, but that's going to be their focus at the very least in this game. Stend, the knockup.
Seismic shot. Nisqy pulverizes, gets a good setup. Carlsen rolls in as well. Good ulti. The top laner of Team Heretics has carried this fight, and the follow-up from Flakked is that much damage. Czajek gets the ulti away. Team Heretics with 2 big kills.
The clear difference being that Carlsen was ready to join the fight. Didn't have to mess the TP, because he can TP back to the top lane, but it looks like he's going to walk, allowing Heretics to use their numbers advantage in order to create a winning team fight.
And let's be real as well, with that quick kill, I mean, Lyncas is further behind the pace too. Sheo was able to pick up one, and we look at the replay as to how Stend kicked this off.
Carlsen walking with Flakked as the engage comes through. Nice initial responses. Nisqy gets a good flash into the knocker, and they get that first kill onto Kamiloo, but then the response is just as lethal. Carzzy and Czajek don't really have much left in the tank to respond, so they end up losing to Naak Nako. Gets a bit of freedom on the top side of the map. You can see he's got a very small lead after being allowed to push in that wave. But the Dragon, crucially, did not go down. Both objectives still out on the map, and Sheo is continuing his counter-jungling ways.
And look, his camp's still up as well.
He's level 6.
He's got all the freedom in the world. He can just ulti Lyncas.
Stend is moving.
Oh, ulti sent out. Lyncas, good sidestep. As you said, Stend is ready to recover it though. So Lyncas at half HP, Permafrost. It's a Rakan, it's melee, and It's just that easily done. Lyncas looking to get his escaping blow, but from Stand Auto, no. It's Sheo in the end who burns his flash as well.
Okay, 2 flashes had to be committed there, so he's a little awkward, but they get the kill that they were looking for. Kamiloo has moved bot to catch this wave as Heretics claim themselves the red buff. Will they convert this into grubs? I think they could. They have the numbers advantage still. Naak Nako is stuck underneath this tower. Varus able to get the push in mid lane. And this is why Heretics is exciting to watch. You talked about how Sheo is the engine, and I think this game is a great representation of him being that engine here in game 1.
And again, like, this feels like one of the strongest games of the split, but it's only because he's come alive so much quicker than other games we've watched as well. That 2-kill Sejuani, as you mentioned, Vedi, the grubs are just going to be taken down. There's going to be no response because Lyncas is bot side. But this constant invading, you look at his jungle camps, they're all up and available. Ignore supportal combat. Sheo has a full camp clear available that he can then just transition to a potential contested dragon.
Yep, he's being mega efficient with his pathing so far in this game.
Ulti almost up too.
Dragon gonna be started. I think it is wise for Sheo to just clear through his camps right now. Heretics can leave this uncontested. Remember that Lyncas is gonna spend a lot of time clearing this one out, and it's just gonna create that an even greater gap.
Yeah.
As Sheo now makes his way through his jungle camps, as you highlighted. So it's kind of that idea of what are you spending your time doing? And of course, Heretics don't have to be worried because they're aware that Lyncas is taking the dragon, so the likelihood of them getting ganked is lower. Meanwhile, Sheo's now clearing out his topside camps. Top lane is going well for Heretics. Small advantage now reclaimed back. Mid lane is moving off to side lanes as now the AD carries will set their sights on the mid.
Don't forget, when Kamiloo moves like that as well, there's even more gank threat that comes from Team Heretics. 1,500 gold lead for them, at least in the early game, though, is Carzzy just going to arcane shift away. Meanwhile, my eyes go towards the top to see what Sheo is up to next. Seismic shot, great, though. Kamiloo, great damage here as Rookie v Rookie, and Kamiloo getting something back here, but Czajek feeling pretty confident in the matchup. Also has a bit of CS lead over mid. I guess that's all the time spent, you know, preparing for some of these fights, playing off the invade as well.
It was also that Kamiloo actually swapped to bot earlier. So when that topside invade was happening, Kamiloo found himself in a 2 versus 1, whereas Czajek was basically just playing against Flakked in mid as that play onto the jungler was happening. So kind of expected to see that small lead in favor of Czajek. Let's not forget Kamiloo also died earlier.
that also contributes, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh my god. Naak Nako, counter-strike is good. Won't block the second part of the Q. He has to back away. Might even have to TP up to top.
Carlsen's got lethal.
Carlsen getting better and better. He's like a fine wine. He's getting better and better each week. And some of you called me crazy when I started going off on Carlsen and saying that this dude is the next Zeus.
Yeah, I was like, did I disagree with that? And then you ended the sentence and I was like, now I remember why I disagreed with it.
This is where the conversation came up.
Sneaky devil.
I mean, look,
sneak that one in.
I could have said the shy, but
and that would have been mean to Carlsen.
I beg your pardon. What the hell did you just say? Yeah, you better. Tell IG you said that, bro. He is the second coming. Nisqy, though, might have to come in quick. He pops the ult here, at least gets the engage to trample, but as a return, Kamiloo's going to die for it. Jumping in is Sheo, who is a 3-kill monster, getting hard stilt stacks for absolutely free because he's just not dying at this point. More follow-up damage needed. True shot barrage walked into, but it's enough to enable Flakked. A trade again. A 2 for 2 in the fight as Flakked looks to take a 1v2, chasing them down. He's got Flash available onto Carzzy. The auto attack. The Flash for Norn. Flakked taking care of business. This Varus is also unleashed now.
It's a 2 for 3 in favor of Heretics as Sheo is just so tanky in the fight. Durable enough to withstand the pressure coming through from the 3 members of Vitality, buying enough time for Flakked to join the fray. This is how Vitality's composition wants to work. They pick the target, they lock them down. Kamiloo has a very difficult time actually playing the game here, and Nisqy, thanks to his ultimate, is able to survive a lot, but it ends up being a 1-for-1 initially. Now they think maybe we can get the flash out from Sheo. Carzzy's going to arrive first, but as you highlighted, Hysterics, Sheo is just way too tanky. Ends up being another 1-for-1. But then I love that Flakked recognizes here, they're not healthy enough to actually beat me. I think I can run them down. And he gets that last auto attack off to get himself a double kill.
That 3-kill Varus, 1k gold up as well, so both him and his jungler feeling mighty good in this game with Heretics leading by about 2,000 gold. But the biggest thing is that when we talk about this target selection from Vitality, Vedi, when we talk about how they want to pick and find their battles, you know, Flakked with lockdown, there's a lot of burst that comes out of Taliyah and Varus as well. So with that range, Team Heretics' ability to counteract and play that disengage, I guess, counter-response. I'm just using big words at this point like I'm a mathematician.
Well, I mean, we can keep it simple, right?
Please.
Heretics' composition is very well-rounded.
It is.
They have good team fighting, they have solid front-to-back, they've got skirmishing options, they can play on side lanes. I'd argue that it doesn't necessarily excel in one thing, but it kind of does a bit of everything pretty well. You know, it's a very well-rounded comp. Whereas Vitality, they have a lot of single target damage.
Yep.
They need to catch someone out, they ideally want to play through side lanes, they want to find a pick before the fight really starts. So when you think about the burden of execution, that responsibility falls on Vitality to make these plays happen. The problem with that is their jungler has been put so far behind, and the front line of Heretics is super beefy, which means that it's kind of up to Heretics. They can decide when a lot of the action is happening just because of how much stronger Sheo is. So the game state is not very nice.
Naak Nako, hang on, wait for the Q, just flushes W's instead. That'll at least give them less of the burden of execution.
Well, so this is what Vitality is doing well. They are attacking Kamiloo on side lanes and then making it work. They found that pick onto the bot lane, which ended up being a losing fight, but now Naak Nako finds a solo kill on the top side of the map. So this mid lane mage that's going to be providing a lot of the AP damage is at a pretty significant deficit.
But Lyncas on a ward. Good moment for Heretics. Set up with the Glacial Prison as well. Charm goes in, but flash away. Lyncas escapes successful. Team Heretics now deep with Nisqy on a perfect angle. Flakked has to flash away, but Nisqy still on the chase with his trample with Czajek. Looking to run this Varus down. Naak Nako joins in. And Vitality with a breath of fresh air. Good shutdown here as the response from Team Heretics needs to be to get the hell out of dodge, but look how deep they are. Lyncas can at least stop this, get in the way. Stend is first up, and Sheo not far to go. Cease and desist behind enemy lines. Lyncas is just keeping and buying time. Vitality have gone Team Heretics by the tippy toes and shutdowns galore as Heretics paid for it with gold.
It was only supposed to be a quick pick. Heretics thought that they'd caught Lyncas out of position. They thought that they'd got a clever ward in and they could kill him and then convert it into a dragon. Easy does it, but they couldn't quite get the kill onto Lyncas. They stepped one step too deep and Vitality was able to chase them down. And notice in this situation, it was a pick into another pick, into another pick. It was all the members of Vitality kind of chipping away at Heretics one by one, getting themselves 4 kills off the back.
And how many times are we going to say that Kamiloo just can't play the fights? That's later on, but for now, as you said, Lyncas only just survived.
The idea, promising here from Heretics, as I said, try and get that pick converted into a dragon, but now 3 members are on Vitality's side of the map. A quick TP comes through. There's TP responses, but they're not fast enough. Heretics get split up. Flakked is the first to die. Then Vitality turn their attention to the 2 straggling members, and Heretics ends up falling. Nicely done by Vitality as they punish the aggression from Heretics.
I don't know why I'm mentioning Kamiloo. I guess he wasn't in the fight. That's why I thought he can't play it. And that is true, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not in a fight, you're technically not able to play it. It's a 2k gold swing, by the way, off that play as well. So the Vitality well and truly back in the game. They've got dragon stacking. The only thing Team Heretics keep it up to date with is playing this top side of the map with 6 grubs. Now we get to the Rift Herald, also known as the Pioneer. So our Team Heretics still trying to open up the map a little bit. But Vedi, that was a bit of a throw.
It certainly was.
From the boys.
It certainly was. And credit to Vitality for finding that angle of attack. I love the TP and how quick it was from Naak Nako, realizing that the moment he arrives, it just becomes a guaranteed 1-team fight. And Heretics, I still like the composition that they have. But again, the thing about Vitality's comp is that when it does get those advantages, like you can see this Ahri is getting very scary very quickly. Then it becomes a lot harder. Like, you're very reliant on your front line, but Vitality have a lot of backline access, and as long as they can find that target, find Flakked, find Kamiloo, the amount of heal on the side of Heretics isn't necessarily the best, depending on how the fight is played out. Vision control is going to be super important. Nisqy's job is going to be crucial in terms of setting up vision, controlling flanks, and giving ways for Czajek and Lyncas to get access onto the backline.
Now, you're not going to see that sync up yet, though, because Lyncas is heading towards top, maybe trying to find something with Naak Nako that might emit a dive into the wave. Carlsen has to be very careful here. He has ulti available, he has flash available, he's lensing. on the edge of the brush, sees him. Okay, he lacerates out, but it might be too late. It's a nice counter-strike as well, and shut down over to Naak Nako. The rank 1 of EU West is accelerated.
I mean, that was a nice pick from Vitality, as now their side laners are becoming very, very scary. The response from Sheo is a good one, as they try to put pressure down onto the mid lane. They're going to get another charge off. Carzzy really can't do much about it.
No.
But the mid tower secured. The second at about 50% HP. But now Vitality, when we talk about how they want to be playing through side lanes, they want to be looking for picks. Look at these side laners now. 1k gold lead for the Ahri, 750 gold lead for Naak Nako. The Trinity Force is completed for him. And Vitality, they definitely have a lot of great options as we move into the mid game.
And you were talking a lot about the wards, Vedi, and like how important it was. Let's just quickly mention that like all the wards here you just saw are expiring. Dragon's up in about 1:52, so it does feel like the Vitality, a refresher there. Maybe 2-3 members moving with Nisqy. Make sure that they can get behind Team Heretics and get one of those Jax flanks. Get Czajek in a position as well when we talk about all that single target importance. Carlsen, though, on Czajek for now. Going to get charmed up. Team Heretics move as a 4-man unit, and Kamiloo just wants to ult something, because I have not seen Bro throw down the Stonehenge this game at all.
He has had a tough game with how effectively Vitality have put pressure on him. I think the scary thing for him as well on the side lane, Czajek has a lot of kill potential. I guess going Rod of Ages, I'm lying, he doesn't.
Soon.
I was going to say earlier I noticed that Czajek was actually able to get push against Kamiloo, and I thought that was because of threat, but I think that's just because Czajek was being shadowed and Kamiloo knew that he was playing on the weak side. You saw there, he moved into bot lane, he immediately pushed out that way, right? Sure. So he now assists his team in getting river control. They're setting up for the 3rd dragon of the game, spawning in about 50 seconds time. Carzzy has to be respectful of Flakked's potential ulti play, especially with how quickly Rakan can come through and follow up. Naak Nako just continuing his pressure on the top side of the map. Pretty much a full level now over Carlsen.
I wonder how close Carzzy is to getting himself the Muramana as well. The tier's fully stacked, but not backing off, so 30 seconds to go. Feels like he's just going to have to play with what he has. When Flakked has 2 and a bit items, Muramana's not fully stacked on his end, but at least he's got a second item, so watching a bit through AD carries here, betting. Is there anywhere else that should be worrying about? I feel like mid, Czajek is 2 items strong on his full stacks on the Rod of Ages. That's important.
Notice the positioning of Lyncas. He's hovering in this bot tri-brush to make it harder for Heretics to stop Czajek getting that push in bot wave. Even though they're conceding the pressure in mid, at the very least by controlling that bot wave, Vitality still have a way of gaining access into the river. Heretics are putting their resources into mid. Naak Nako a little isolated, but he does of course have the TP available. Carzzy's able to get that base off, and will get the upgraded Muramana.
Okay, as you said, it's actually picked up, so an important distinction. Vitality coming in with full guns charged. Carlsen made the full way down on foot. Top wave, mid wave for now. They're just going to meet in the middle, so we ignore them. We look directly towards the 5v5 as Sheo drops a smite in the first Weaver's Wall that I've seen. Kamiloo layers it, but Lyncas to try and escape from it. A seismic shot won't connect to Stend. Gets poked by the ulti from Carzzy. Vitality feeling good. They're getting some real heavy damage down as Carlsen's a target isolated away from the rest of the team. He hits Naak Nako back well. No one started the dragon off really. It's just about the scuttle crab. Blows thrown and taken on each side.
Oh, this Rakan aggroed very far out of the pit. As Kamiloo takes a bit of damage. Heretics have to be careful about their re-entry. Lyncas is looking for the pick. Heretics being isolated like this is fantastic for the Vi. Trying to control the flanks. Naak Nako goes back to base, has the TP available. He doesn't need to commit it though. They do of course have the Hex Gates, and he's going to use them to get back to the fight quickly. It's Heretics, though, that's on the objective, and Vitality, it looks like they're just giving this one up.
The patience is holding. It's right on the edge of it. Really nicely pulled by Team Heretics. They look for the fight afterwards as Stend gets a summoner out of Carzzy with a re-engage from Nisqy. Sets up a 3-man pulverize is great, but chance corruption of the counterplay. And Naak Nako has nowhere to go now. Jumps on the back line himself, but defensive play from Stend. Well, Flakked has to space it out. Naak Nako not dying, though. His counter-strike's going to do everything. Onto Flakked, he fires through. I'm watching this Jax. Biggest Team Heretics can't walk towards him. Vitality might not get the dragon, but in the end, they find some blood.
I mean, Vitality still lose the fight, though. It ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Heretics because this is way too late of an engage. I notice that it's played in a front-to-back manner. Naak Nako does what he can, but The engage from Nisqy is very forced. Czajek is still way too far away, which means that the front line dies before much can happen. Lyncas also getting knocked back by Kamiloo, denies any real follow-up. Carzzy's being zoned away by Carlsen. Naak Nako's trying to get onto Flakked, who's just hitting as much as he can. The flash gets committed by Naak Nako, but at this point, Heretics just say, okay, we disengage. So they get the dragon, they get 2 kills for 1. That was a majorly won play, alongside a bunch of summoners being burned.
Very true. I mean, Flakked down without any summoners. Stend the same. Kamiloo, no flash. Carlsen even lost his, but on the other side, Vitality, the only flashes who were able to keep were Carzzy and Czajek. So it's a big question, isn't it? You're right. Kills do go over to Team Heretics, but
the thing is, I think Vitality is just hesitating a little too much because there was a perfect opportunity for them earlier during the setup where Heretics was completely split up. And it's those moments that you need to be ready to pounce when the AD carry is just slightly separated from the Sejuani or from the Rakan. Those are your windows for opportunity to force the fight because that's how your composition works. It's fast. It quickly finds picks. It locks you down. It kills you efficiently, and then you can move on to the next target. If you're playing this forced front-to-back 5v5, then Heretics is just going to have an easier time. Unless, of course, the Jax pops off, which he did get very close to doing.
Which he can. I mean, 2 items now. Trinity Force in hand, along with Sundered Sky. So I think that's definitely on the cards. For now, Vitality still hovering around Arakan. You see that Lyncas is putting a lot of time into it because Sheo's top. Naak Nako's got the wave at an even stead. But do they really have the damage? It's a slow Arakan. Without Naak Nako, it feels. Alongside Ezreal.
I mean, I think Nako, I think the Arakan.
Yeah.
My words today.
Yeah, right.
The Arakan, I think, is a very dangerous objective. We've seen way too many times teams throw around it. The resistance shred is no joke.
And it's not even like what Jack and I were talking about yesterday is sometimes it doesn't even feel worth it.
Yes.
But what you lose if you lose like a tier 2.
Correct.
If you're losing like 600 gold for the play. Sheo launching ulti, predicts the arcane shift. Carzzy's rooted down along with Heartsteel. Flakked will take the shut down. Beautiful stuff from Sheo.
The cleanse wasn't available, but again, Sheo showing his accuracy as he finds a nice ulti connect. The chain CC comes through. Carzzy couldn't escape. That's a nice pick, but it looks like they can't really convert it into much. Baron will arrive on the Rift. But as I mentioned, there's not really much that either team can play for as Czajek. Just notice, ticking over to level 16 now on the Ahri.
Yeah, he got that the passive from Rod of Ages, so outside that level lead he built up naturally, or about half a level is Charm, just out of range. Czajek still feeling pretty good. Solo laners of Vitality are the ones holding the lead, while the rest of the map right now is bleeding a little bit, but Baron has just spawned. Naak Nako's going to move to top wave. Sheo's just going to drop some wards while we start progressing towards second, third item. You see third item here for Sheo, who's really maintained that CS lead and that gold lead in the jungle. He's now got a Thornmail in hand. Be a bit of a pain for this Ezreal, for the Jax especially, I feel like.
I agree. I mean, Sheo is a beefy boy.
He is a beefy boy.
It's going to be a tough wall to crack.
I get the joke because he's on a pig.
I actually didn't go that
beefy
far.
boy, yeah.
I didn't. That's a good one. Thanks for noticing.
Nisqy's the cow, bro.
Oh.
I was telling Jack yesterday, they call her pig sister in Chinese. It's, hold on that thought. Naak Nako, 3 members are here. Actually make it 4, make it 5. Flakked not far behind. It's a good permafrost, but Naak Nako buying time. He goes golden. He's now out of Seeker's Zoe, and the setup from Carlsen. Team Heretics thought, yeah, we'll help Naak Nako with this, but there's 5 members. They commit 1 by 1. Soul Lander's now both dead, and they were the ones with the gold lead.
And now Baron is up for grabs. Carzzy will have some poke. Lyncas is still alive. But it looks like, yeah, the pings are coming down on the Dragon. The response there from Vitality, I get the logic. Czajek wanting to TP in to provide some assistance, but Heretics, I mean, they don't overcomplicate it. They just use their ultis, they follow up with CC, and they get themselves 2 easy kills and a Baron to boot.
Team Heretics also, I don't believe they're on the map. Dragon's going to be taken, so Vitality at least at Soul Point, which, as we know with Hextech Souls, is very important to know. But 4K gold lead now approaching. Team Heretics back into the swing of things. The Red Bull Baron power play is Stend. Face checking. Okay, he doesn't W the bush. He might just be dead. The Vial use as well. He's dead. We are throwing. It's like a game of cup and ball, except everyone keeps missing the bloody cup. Nisqy, he's going to die as well. And now Carzzy is in hell in a handbasket with Carlsen right on top of his Ezreal's face. The damage immense. And right there in his place as Lyncas managed to get over the seismic shot just out of range as well. But Rakan's been sitting there waiting for its objector. And I think Team Heretics are going to be it.
A clever play coming through from Vitality that ultimately ends in disaster. They set up a trap in Heretics jungle with the intention of punishing them as they make their way back out onto the map, catching an unsuspecting Heretics. The Heretics was quick on the response. Their collapse was fast and ruthless, and they found 2 picks for themselves, converting that into 2 additional towers. Heretics with full control on the Rift right now, a 5.3k gold lead, and in a commanding position here in game 1.
They're just going to close the door to it. I mean, the Rakan wasn't taken in the end. It was all about that turret and at least getting some gold with this Baron. But it's a Hexgate Rift, so fast movement to bot after Flakked catches mid with Kamiloo. And they can just rotate and threaten this objective, which is the only one up on the map for the next 3 minutes.
Heretics have a team. My goodness.
They do have a team. Together, 5 of them. It's really strong.
They are a team that have continued to surprise.
Yes, they are.
My brain, for some reason, keeps jumping to the end of a sentence that I want to say and then just bringing that to the front. And so, yeah, my English is just atrocious today, I must say.
That's all right. You were born there, but you should, you know.
Yeah, I will say that people that study English, I often find are better at English than I am.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right. But you're better at German, I think. Your German's very good.
Yeah,
yeah. All 10 words of it is, sorry, it's about having a roast with the family today, not roasting members of your work family. I got that confused.
It's all good, it's all good. Another tower going to be secured for Heretics as they convert that into a second. 30 seconds left of the Baron, and that's quite an effective Red Bull Baron power play, one could say.
And you being what would say that? 5,000, almost 5,500. Lyncas is just following Rakan.
I don't think this is going to work, Lyncas.
Why is that?
Because it's not fast enough.
Thank you for explaining, Betty.
Yeah, you're
right, you're right. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, he's doing it. And then I'm watching it in real time. And
Sheo's just going to show up and be like, hi.
Okay. Who else is here?
Hello, excuse me, I'm sorry. You must think that this part of the map belongs to you, but I'm afraid that it doesn't. It does, in fact, belong to Sheo.
The game really has. I mean, let's not forget, this game started with Sheo taking over the map.
3-1-9. Been involved in 12 of the team's 13 kills.
Yeah.
I mean, I think your description of him being an engine is so apt. He really is the centerpiece that drives this team forward. And the development the Heretics have showcased from winter into spring has been nothing but incredible. We'll see how they continue, as right now they're looking to close out game 1 with a significant lead. With the Baron gone, what will their next play be? Do they even care about the Rakan? Maybe they just abandon it, wait for the next Baron play, and then use that as the means to try and finish this one.
Their Rakan's so slow with lethality Varus. I don't blame them. I don't blame both teams for not really looking at it seriously. As Kamiloo might be the bullying target again. Good seismic shot, but that just puts them into range. So now Kamiloo doesn't have a turret. He has to flash away. Lyncas under the inhibitor turret. It's going to find the kill, but he flashes too. It's a shutdown, but all of Team Heretics are waiting here. Flakked with an easy marksman angle, and Naak Nako, he's just going to drop as well. Flakked will pull up both kills, and it was an attempt. They're throwing all hell in the handbasket again.
They've got to get the resets off quickly, though, because the dragon spawning in 40 seconds means that they can't afford to waste any time, as I say that shows burn camps. But Vitality, they're desperate for a play. It makes sense that they would attack Kamiloo on a side lane. It's something that they've done consistently throughout this game. The dive is very deep, though. Committing onto these tier 3 towers, it was a lot of time spent, and ultimately they get the kill, but the cavalry did in fact arrive, allowing Heretics to convert it into a 2-for-1.
Kind of been the story of the game, isn't it? Vitality trying to make a play, might overforce. Team Heretics are there to back up. Their responses are swift, and you know, an 8-kill Varus now. So he is approaching full build with this last item with a pickaxe in inventory. 6k gold lead still exists, and Dragon's now up. Any hope that Vitality have of making a soul in this game is slowly being denied and delayed like it has been. And next, you just think Baron, right?
Yep, we do the Baron.
We We do the ban.
Like,
you're on the team.
It's the habit where when I think about what a team wants to do, I put myself in the position of the team.
Yes, we.
And so I talk from kind of the first person perspective sometimes.
Didn't know you knew French.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about Vitality, so I'm thinking about what they want to do.
So what do we want to do? What do we want to do to come back in this game as we fly?
Heretics wants to gain, push in mid, push in top, move to enemy jungle, clear out the vision. Vitality want that not to happen.
Okay.
Unfortunately, their support lost half his HP and now can't stop it from happening.
And again, Carzzy, who cleanses away, he has to kind of use that on repeat, or he's scared of dying with Flakked by his side.
So, as you'll see, Heretics has gotten everything that they wanted.
Yep.
They pushed in mid, they pushed in top, they move in enemy jungle, they clear a vision. Now, top hasn't been pushed in super deep, so Vitality have one avenue in. The problem is they have 0 vision. Well, they've got a little bit of vision, that observers are highlighting. So they have to rely on the Ezreal ultimate. They see that Baron hasn't been started just yet. Carlsen has gone to go and catch the bot wave. Naak Nako's going to go back to base. Maybe he can spend some money prior to the upcoming fight, but Lyncas, you're on a ward, buddy.
He is indeed, as he clears it out. That's not safety territory. Seismic shove, he's dead. Permafrost is that just easy. Lyncas had no business being there, and he is evicted from the building.
I mean, I will say that this has been nothing short of a jungle gap throughout this entire game.
Oh, it has been.
From start to finish.
It's a jungle canyon.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. So now, Vitality looking for a pick.
Like a good side step, confidently walking up to an Ahri, but Czajek gets good damage down, so teleport going to be churned by Carlsen. He joins in the fray, now zoning off Naak Nako. Better condition for Vitality than you'd think with a 6k gold disadvantage. Carlsen's doing good AoE, but Carzzy just needs to keep poking out. True shot barrage as well. Okay, not onto Sheo, that's not great, but they've found Carlsen. Naak Nako's going to play the fight. The ulti used though, and he doesn't have cleanse. Carzzy walked in. Unfortunate, but what can you do? At Naak Nako, you just have to find an angle, but not all roads were made the same. The Romans told us that, the medieval times told us that, and now in 2025, you know what a bloody road is. Naak Nako's just walking back, and Team Heretics, this one is in the bin in favor of them.
Beautiful footwork and decision-making from Carlsen at the end of that fight. You'll notice that he comes in, tries to zone away the opposition. Vitality, they're desperately looking for a pick, but Czajek's ulti, it fades off, so now that pick potential rapidly reduces. So there goes the Ahri ult, then Carlsen dances in, he tries to get a bit of chip damage. It looks initially like he's stepped too far. He now looks way too deep, but then the redemption comes through and he connects the ultimate onto Carzzy, allowing for the follow-up ulti from Flakked to come through, and then they're able to get that pick onto the AD carry. All the while, Sheo is just continuing to tank the Baron up. Well played, Baron. Good patience. Heretics ever so close to closing out game one.
And I keep watching these solo laners from Vitality and what they're trying to bring to the fight. I mean, Czajek is this Ahri. What can you do? You just stand there. You're like a Potter, you know? You're kind of just meddling with things. Great skin idea, by the way, Betty. Ahri Potter. Can't laugh at yourself. What can you do? Inhibitor turret's going to be taken down while Carlsen deals with mid. Naak Nako's trying to get the other side of the map. And that's just a point-blank ulti onto Nisqy. His introduction as a support role, this split has been a rough one. But this game especially, he's had Stend consistently been in his face. It's Vitality now onto the next turrets. Betty, I don't even think there's breathing room.
I don't think so either. Vitality will have to go for a last-ditch effort. Here we go.
There it is, jumping in. It's Kamiloo, but this time he gets away. It's a rarity. All flashes burn because all summoners were up and available. Now Carlsen gets to play the front to back. Carzzy trying again, but Naak Nako, even though he gets to jump in, Kamiloo is going to poke it out. I mean, this Jax, he was fed, but now he's not. Game one over to Heretics, punishing the B. As busy as they tried to be, it was Team Heretics in the end who showed that jungle canyon from Sheo.